greater. May our love be greater, greater, greater. May our love be greater, greater, greater. May our love be greater. May our love be greater than our fear. 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 And may we know we are welcome here. And may we know we are welcome here. Greater, greater, greater. May our love be greater, greater, greater. May our love be, there it is, great. May our love be greater than our fear. May our love be greater than our fear. May our love be greater than our fear. And may we know we are welcome here. May your love, right? Greater, greater. May your love be greater, greater, greater. May your love be great. May your love be greater than your fear. May your love be greater than your fear. May your love be greater than your fear. And may you know you are welcome here. Greater. May our love be greater, greater, greater. May our love be great. May our love be greater than our fear. May our love be greater than our fear. May our love be greater than our... May we know we are welcome here. Yeah. You sound good today. It's really weird. There are so many people in attendance. I wonder why. You probably just were looking forward to this pre-service singing so much that you came. Let's see what you remember from last week. See if I remember from last week. Any moment, any time can change your heart, change your mind. Every day we start anew, start anew. Any moment, any time can change your heart, change your mind. Every day we start anew, start anew. Choir, you can start walking up. Any moment, any time can change your heart, change your mind. Every day we start anew, start anew. Any moment, any time can change your heart, change your mind. Every day we start anew, start anew. Any moment, any time can change your heart, change your mind. Every day we start anew, start anew. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Any moment, any time, change your heart, change your mind. Every time we start anew, start anew. Good job. Any moment. Here is where we give you the permission you hadn't yet given yourself.
To show up and be your most authentic self.
You can cry here.
You can take your time here.
To be you is not a crime here.
We are all divine here.
We shine brighter when we all shine here.
We rise higher when we all rise here.
We practice being kind here.
We celebrate the fact that we are still alive here. Love, only love is welcome here.
You can make mistakes here. No guilt, blame, or shame here.
There's only grace here. We know you by name here.
We've been waiting for you. So glad you came here.
We hope that you stay here. All that you can be reclaimed and embraced here. Only love is welcome here. So bring your pain, your pain, your sorrow, bring your sorrow, bring your hope, and bring your fear. And we'll wrap our loving arms around you, because only love is welcome here.
Here is where we give you the permission you haven't yet given yourself.
To show up and be your most authentic self.
Love.
Only love
is
is
welcome here.
Only love is welcome here. Only love is welcome here.
Y'all, that was beautiful. Thank you. Good morning. Ooh, so many of you. I am the Reverend Karen Armina. I respond to she, her pronouns. It is so good to finally be here with you. Come in to this place. There are healing waters here and hands with soothing balm to ease your troubled days. Bring your wounds and aching hearts, your scars too numb to feel. Rest a while. Let the warmth of this community surround you, hold you, heal you. When you feel a bit stronger, just a bit, notice those who need you too. They are here. They are everywhere. Weep with them, smile with them, work with them, laugh along the way. Pass the cup, drink the holy fire. Take it with you into the world. We are saved and we save each other again, again, and yet again. I invite you to rise in all of the ways that we do in body and or spirit and sing together. Love Will Guide Us, number 131 in the Gray Hymnal.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from
Most of you know this chalice lighting. It's a traditional one. We light this chalice, our symbol of Unitarian Universalism. We are a church of open minds. We are a church of loving hearts. We are a church of helping hands. Together, we care for our earth and work for justice and peace in our world. Now, if the children and young at heart would like to join Jason and I, we're going to be in that general area.
Come on down.
I see everybody gathering. All right. So, may I ask you a question, all of you? Yes? Okay. No, she just answered the question. It's good. What do you think love is? What do you think love is?
It's a way of kindness.
Good.
Anybody else?
Do you think
It's a hard
love?
question. Go ahead.
Let people be who they are.
Nice.
Any
Letting people
other
be who they are.
answers?
People can play with people.
People can play with people. That's love.
Family.
Your family is love. Any other ideas about what love is?
And my mommy cry.
Yeah, your mommy.
Uh-huh. Well, I've been thinking about love a lot. And I've been thinking about how strong it is, but also how easy it is to break.
Are you saying that? How is this possible? You're saying it's something easy to break, but it's also strong?
Well, consider the butterfly. So here's a poster I had when I was younger. And what do you see? Does anybody see the alphabet in there? Okay. So a photographer searched for many, many years to find this alphabet. Does anybody know where he found the alphabet?
Oh, come on over.
The God of love.
The God of love. That's a pretty cool way to think of that. Well, I'm going to tell you something that might surprise you. The photographer found this alphabet in the wings of butterflies. All of these pictures are patterns on butterfly wings. So a butterfly has the same weight as a paper clip. Keith, do you mind just giving these to? This is a paper clip. Keith is going to give you a paper clip. So you can feel the weight of it. That's the weight of a butterfly. That is how heavy it is. So what if I told you there was a butterfly that could fly 3,000 miles?
Wait, 3,000 miles to go back is the monarch butterfly.
It's the monarch butterfly. You're right. And that butterfly can eat poison as a caterpillar, and it doesn't die.
Now, is this butterfly a superhero of some sort?
Well, it sort of is. And it won't be too long before we see some monarch butterflies in Lincoln.
Isn't that the most
This is a picture of them when they are migrating. I've never seen this many together. Probably most of us haven't. But they travel in these very, very large groups. But you know what? They're having a hard time with our warming planet. And that means it's harder for them to make that trip. It's harder for them to live and thrive the way they once did. And taking care of our planet is a kind of love.
So the butterfly's strong, but it can also break easily too?
Yeah, yeah. You hear something? I feel like I hear something. I think it's coming from over here. Jason, can you help me?
Yeah, I'll help you.
Figure out what this, I don't know, this is
something
sitting here,
here.
yeah. It's got all these clips on it, I don't know.
Let's take a look. I'm gonna open this thing up. Let's see what happens. 1, 2,
3.
3.
So, can one of you help me? It seems as though the butterflies left a message in here. Can one of you help me read it? It's in a special, very special language of butterfly wings. Here it is. What do you see? What does it say? So keep the center. Keep love in the center. Smart butterflies. Very smart. Thank you all.
And if you all want a butterfly, you can take a butterfly with you.
And we have more in case we have are short here, okay? So let me know if you didn't get a butterfly.
Everybody who didn't get a butterfly, you can get one.
Okay.
Who didn't get a butterfly? Come on up.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and sing our anthem to lead them back to their Sunday school.
See you later, alligator, after a while, crocodile. We send you out with love and a smile. Thank you for the lessons that you freely share. From the way you play to the way you care. See you later, alligator, after a while, crocodile. And send you out with love and a smile. Thank you for the lessons that you freely share. From the way you play to the way you care.
I invite us now into a spirit of prayer. O Holy Spirit of life and love that arises within and between us, we have known many blessings already this day, for which we give thanks and praise. This day, just this day, a day like any other and yet brand new, and the chance to enter into the possibilities it brings. The blue skies, the warm air of spring, the greening of the land, the blossoming of the trees, the earth home that carries all of this and us into this day. That spinning blue and green marble, solid and fragile, just like us and the butterflies. The bodies that carry us through our days and whatever measure of health they hold. The care and companionship of human and other beings, the community we build together, and our connection to everything that is, ever has been, and ever will be. Into this space of awe and gratitude, we breathe our desires for health, for wholeness, for safety, for love, for peace, for all of us. May we be moved and restored by our love for each other, for our neighbors, for our earth. May we find healing and hope in our companionship. May we know our fear, but not be stopped by it. May we feel our anger, but not be ruled by it. May we honor our grief and not be paralyzed by it. May we transform our fear, our anger, our grief into compassion and inspiration to action. May we find and offer each other the resources, the support, and the joy we need to do the work. May our hearts and our minds be open to multiple possibilities of love and of peace. May it be so. And may we be so.
Together be known by our love. We'll be known by our love. We'll be known by our love.
I'm Christine Davis. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm a worship associate for this church. Our reading is by Allison Luderman, titled Jesus Incognito. Don't tell anyone, but I love Jesus. I love his big, dark Jewish eyes, so full of suffering and soul, like an unemployed poet's, and his thick, sensuous Jewish lips, and his kinky, curly hair, just like mine, uncontrollable despite conditioners. And the way he always argues with everyone and will go to hell for love. He's just like that Buddhist god Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion, Bodhisattva of compassion, except his name is easier to pronounce. When you're in trouble, it's hard to remember to yell for Avalokiteshvara. But, oh Jesus, arises naturally. Every time a crazy driver hot dogs pass me on the freeway, I know I should say the Shema, but when I'm about to die, but will I be able to remember Hebrew at a time like that? I don't want to die saying, oh shit. I'd like to leave my body consciously, like a Tibetan lama, sitting in full lotus, with my head turned toward where I'll reincarnate next. But let's be realistic. I probably couldn't meditate enough to become enlightened in the however many years I have left. Jesus seems easier. All you have to do is love everyone. Well, seems is the key word here. Sometimes the more you try to love people, the more you hate them. Maybe it would be better to try not to love people and then watch the love force its way out of you like grass through cement. Anything is better than organized religion. I don't like singing in churches. All those hymns in major keys. I don't think religion should sound so triumphant. It should be humble and aware of the basic, incurable pathos of the human condition, and in a minor key, and sung in a mysterious ancient language, like Sanskrit or Hebrew. Is it okay for me to love Jesus but not be Christian? I could try to open my heart and give away all my possessions. It's not that different from being Buddhist, after all, except for a history of witch burnings, the Inquisition, the subjugation, rape, and pillage of indigenous peoples all over the world, not to mention 20 centuries of vicious anti-Semitism. That's a lot to overlook. To get back to a baby born among animals, to a Jewish mother, Miriam. And what about the other Mary, the sexy one? Jesus, I don't believe you died a virgin. I think you needed to taste everything human, to inhabit the whole mess. Blood and flies and regret and envy. Why me? I owe you and all the other bodhisattvas and sages and newborn babies a debt of thanks for agreeing to come back and marry yourselves to our painful predicament again and again. And I do thank you, bowing to the infinite directions.
Thank you, Kristen. So, like Ms. Luderman, I am not a Christian. I do find meaning, though, in exploring our Christian heritage as Unitarian Universalists, and I have to admit that I do love Jesus. I am grateful for his ideas and his life and his work in justice and compassion and hope. Like the Sermon on the Mount, right? The meek will inherit the earth, the merciful will receive mercy, the peacemakers will be called the children of God. He articulated the golden rule during that sermon, too: in everything do to others as you would have them do to you. And he helped people think of doing good works in a new way, that it came from inside them, telling them, you are the light of the world. Let your light shine before others. Jesus hung out with sinners, with lepers, with prostitutes, people who weren't just ignored by society, but people who were purposefully marginalized by the religious leaders of the day. He told story after story to try to teach people how to be in right relationship with each other, and he showed them by his own example. And he challenged them. He challenged them to learn how to be their best selves. Like in the story about a rich man who came to him asking what he had to do to be saved, Jesus reminded him of the commandments, to which the man replied, "Teacher, I have kept all of these since my youth." Jesus then said, with love, "You lack one thing. Go, sell what you own and give the money to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come and follow me." His challenge to us to learn how to be our best selves is grounded in this message of radical love and hospitality. The way the book of Matthew tells it, Jesus, when asked by the Pharisees which commandment was the greatest, replied, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the greatest and first commandment. And a second is like it, you shall love your neighbor as yourself." And then, the way Luke tells it, when pressed to define neighbor, Jesus told the parable of the Good Samaritan, an important story in the context of the deep hatred between Jews and Samaritans. The story is about a Samaritan who cares for an injured Jew and finds him shelter after finding him in the road. We are to love God and everyone with our whole being. And as far as we can tell from what's been written about his life, this is exactly what he did. He loved his friends and his enemies. He helped them be their best selves, and he forgave them when they inevitably were not their best selves. And so, like many anti-Trinitarian heretics who expanded the definition of Christianity, it is the example of Jesus that I love. A 16th century member of the Polish Reformed Church named Faustus Socinus taught that Jesus was fully human, no more and no less divine than you or I. And I believe it is his humanity that makes his example accessible to us. If Jesus was divine, or even somewhere between divine and human, as some early theologians reasoned, how realistic could it be for us to think that we might be able to emulate him? But if he was human, it becomes possible, maybe. We see throughout the gospel stories of his life how he centered himself in his God, how he was able to move through his life in love from that center. If he could love his enemies to the point of praying, "Father, forgive them, they know not what they do," when they nailed him to a cross and executed him out of their own fear, then, oh my God, what does that say about the love we are capable of, and what kind of amazing things we might do with that love? This understanding of life-affirming love is one of the things I take from our Christian heritage. Love that can change hearts and minds and the world, shown to us through the lived faith of a man who walked the earth 2,000 years ago. So what might it mean for us to love God with our whole hearts and souls and minds and love our neighbors as ourselves? I certainly can't speak for all of us, especially about the first great commandment, given the wide variety of God concepts held by people in our tradition, as well as in this congregation. I am sure that I will learn this week. We Unitarian Universalists, we range from humanistic or atheist beliefs that don't include any God at all, to refined and redefined ideas of what God might be, to more traditional concepts of a personal God. But for me, I use God language to describe that which arises between us, or between ourselves and our surroundings, when we are intentionally in harmony or appreciating each other. And so for me, loving God with my whole heart and soul and mind means opening myself up to that which is around me, of being receptive and aware and grateful for knowing I am connected to all things and all beings on all the levels. When I'm in this state of appreciation, I'm a little more likely to start thinking about how to love my neighbor as myself. And this is how I am able to work into my potential for following the example of Jesus' love. I can't do that everywhere. In all conditions, I am best able to practice it in safe and intentional community. This is one of the core pieces of Unitarian Universalist practice. We build that safe, intentional community when we say that love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. And those values serve to guide us, right, as we learn how to live out the ideal of loving our neighbors as ourselves. Not always easy. It is what, at our best, is freely given when we work together toward the best of our potential, when we practice being our full selves in community that we get to do in a safe place, and when we learn to make positive change in the wider world. You show love for your neighbors when you gather as a church community for Wonderful Wednesdays and coffee house and queer church and potlucks, when you donate and bid on auction items, when you volunteer to greet and usher and make coffee, you are living love. You show love for your neighbors out there when you share your offering plate, right? When you participate in Justice in Action and Faith Alliance, when you advocate to your representatives, when you show up in protest, when you put food in the donation baskets I saw out there, when you sing for justice. There are ways, these are ways, in which we make what Jesus called the kingdom of heaven exist in the here and now, which he said should be our goal. There was a 19th century Universalist preacher named Hosea Ballou, and he called this our salvation, making the kingdom of heaven exist in the here and now. He wrote that being made in God's image meant that there was no such thing as eternal damnation, that as a good and perfect being, God could not have made us anything less than good. And that as his children, God loved us so much that God could not possibly bear to send us to the tortures of hell. Ballou called this universal salvation. We are all saved simply by virtue of being loved by God. Over the course of Ballou's ministry, this belief evolved into an even deeper understanding of love, one that led him to conclude that the kingdom of God was right here on earth, and that living a life of love resulted in such happiness that salvation was achieved. Salvation, the kingdom of God, is what happens when we allow love to be our guiding force. There's a story told about Baloo from his days of being an itinerant preacher. One afternoon, he was riding his circuit with a Baptist preacher, and they were arguing over theology. Amazing. The Baptist said to him, "Brother Baloo, if I were a universalist and feared not the fires of hell, I could hit you over the head, steal your horse and saddle, and ride away, and I'd still go to heaven." Baloo looked at him and said, "Brother, if you were a universalist, the idea would never occur to you." Yeah. God's great commandments tell us that we are to love God and each other. These commandments are universally binding. They constitute universal salvation in Baloo's view. Loving God and each other with all our hearts is universal salvation. And this salvation is a life of bliss. If we believe this, doing wrong to our neighbor simply isn't part of our vocabulary. It's a beautiful idea. I love it. It grounds me. It gives me hope for the possibility of making real beloved community. It helps me think about my own actions, helps me want to try to start from a place of good, as opposed to facing consequences when I choose poorly. And I understand the reality of our world. Universal salvation only works if everyone buys into it, if doing wrong to our neighbor isn't part of all of our shared vocabulary. I know that at least half the time, if not more, I am not in that place of appreciation and openness that I described earlier, and boy, can I observe that in a lot of people around me. And so I wonder whether Hosea Baloo's beautiful idea isn't more of an ideal, an optimistic, but maybe unrealistic ideal. The Unitarian minister, William Ellery Channing, who was a contemporary of Baloo's, he had a slightly different take on our goodness. He wrote in 1928 that, quote, "The great work of religion is to conform ourselves to God, or to unfold the divine likeness within us." So Channing thought we were made to learn to be good, that we had to work at it. He recognized that as imperfect humans, we did sin, and like most Christians, he believed that our salvation lay in the redemption offered by Jesus' death. The name for this is atonement theology, this idea that the sacrifice of one can redeem the sins of all. And it's the basis of the traditional Christian idea of salvation. Adam and Eve, in listening to the serpent and eating from the tree of knowledge, they disobeyed the rules God had established, and therefore, in this theology, they tainted all of humankind with original sin. This sets us up to need to be saved. And this is what Jesus' death was supposed to accomplish. His sacrifice was supposed to atone for our sin. This is an idea that I reject. It's based on what I see as a theological contradiction. Even if I could get my head around the idea that one person's sacrifice could make up for the sins of all, I cannot see as valid the idea that salvation could come out of the violent beating and death of a man who was feared by the establishment for his radical ideas of how we humans should act with each other. I have heard women in a domestic violence shelter talk about confiding in their priests and their pastors only to be told that their faith requires them to submit to the will of their husband. And if that submission means they're beaten, they should suffer this fate willingly and silently as Jesus suffered his. The reward will come later, they say, as an afterlife of heavenly bliss. They call that salvation. They base it on the death of their Savior. I call it violence begetting violence. And beyond this idea of original sin from which we are supposed to have needed salvation, I don't go for that either. I think Eve did a brave and amazing thing in choosing to disobey that divine order to limit her understanding of the world so she could remain in paradise. I believe Eve brought humankind our freedom to explore the world and how we might be in it. It was not a fall. It was an awakening. And so, no original sin means we have nothing to be saved from, right? Or do we? We are able to freely explore the world and how we might be in it. And so we have choices. We have agency. We are just as free to choose paths of anger and fear and hatred as we are to choose paths of openness and balance and love. So what do we do? What do we do in the face of authoritarian rule? What do we do in the face of the disappearing of our neighbors? What do we do in the face of the legislation of hate for our transgender and gender-expansive siblings? I have come to think of salvation as the thing that helps us deal with the shadows in our lives. That Baptist minister arguing with Hosea Ballou had a real point, as did Reverend Channing. They had thought about the shadows. Our lives and our choices are multifaceted and difficult, and it is not always easy to be guided by love. There is pain, there is suffering, there is fear, some of it blameless, some of it actually intentional. We humans are complicated in our understandings of right relationship, and many of us, maybe even all of us at times, are less concerned about the impact of our action on others than on ourselves. And yet, as people of faith, we aspire to more. We aspire to let love be our guiding force. Sometimes we even manage to do this, and this is what I call salvation. When I think of it that way, I think about the work of Dr. Monica Coleman. Salvation is a process, and Dr. Coleman is a womanist process theologian. I'll unpack that some other time. Basically, everything's a process. She defines salvation as that which makes us whole. It's concrete, she says. It's part of this life. She calls it making a way out of no way. And she says that God offers us the resources to make change, but it is up to us to take advantage of them. The no way part of this making a way out of no way doesn't mean that a path to salvation just appears out of nowhere, but out of places maybe we haven't seen or noticed before. Making a way out of no way has 4 parts. Unforeseen possibilities, right? Human agency, the goal of justice, and a challenge to the existing order. So Dr. Coleman, as an example, writes about a child that has been abused by her mother, who was abused in turn by her mother. That child, she writes, has the freedom to decide how to treat her own daughter in turn. And Dr. Coleman says that the choice does not have to be based only on her family history, only on what she knows. If she is given love and support, it is possible for her to choose to end that pattern. Not by herself, but if she's given love and support. Dr. Coleman says that, quote, salvation occurs when people work for the transformation of the world by imitating Christ. And that salvation isn't always liberation and freedom from all pain and suffering. We'd never reach it, right? But the, quote, survival and quality of life. And she says it requires the cooperation of the world in which we live. So some years ago, I went on a service learning trip to Haiti, and I saw an amazing example of a process like that of salvation. While I was getting ready for my trip, I learned about the Makuts. The Makuts are these violent enforcers of the bloody regimes of Haiti's not so distant past. One of their practices was something called necklacing of resistors, and this will be hard to hear. Necklacing is placing tires around people's necks, filling them with gasoline, and lighting them. This is how they kept order. When working with the people of the peasant movement of Papai, which is a grassroots change organization in Haiti, I learned about and got to try this practice of making a way out of no way. They transformed old tires into container gardens, and each of those gardens could grow enough vegetables for a family, two tires, vegetables for a family. There was unforeseen possibility in those tires. I remember looking at the pile of them and going, who thought of this, right? There was human agency in this deliberate use of an old symbol of terror to make a practical and symbolic use of hope. And there was the goal of justice and the challenge to the existing order by this activist organization, all in one act of taking these tires, cutting them with machetes, and flipping them inside out. And nobody ever did that by themselves. They did it in groups. It was done in community. And so, as I think about whether salvation can have any meaning in my own theology or in Unitarian Universalism, I find myself convinced that it must be based on the living exemplar that was Jesus, not on the single event of his death. His ministry offers us tools with which to move us into salvation, into the process of salvation, teaching, healing, praying, welcoming, suffering with. These are all things that are done in community. So for me, salvation happens here and now, in community, in our understanding that we are all connected, in my understanding of a God that is interwoven in our relationships with each other and everything around us. Salvation is in our ability to care for each other in the face of hate and evil and fear. It's our ability to try to protect our vulnerable, to work to change the systems that make and keep them vulnerable, to try to live into our own ideals. It's our ability to do that work together, knowing that everything we do is based on what happened in the past, the possibilities for the future, and how we combine those things together. May it be so. May we be so.
Thank you, Reverend Chair. And thank you for joining us today. My name is Michael Stratton. My pronouns are he, him, and I am president of your Board of Trustees. I want to offer a special welcome to those of you who are listening for the first time. We are glad you are here. Each week, we take up a collection to support the work of this church and our partners in the community. We do this because just as we all grow from our participation in this community, we all give back through our time, talent, and treasures. The ushers will now come forward to pass our offering plates. For online viewers, you might consider giving via text. Those present and online can also give via the QR code leading to Realm. on the screen. If giving by text, simply text UC Lincoln in the amount to 73256. The offering will now be gratefully received. I have a few announcements to share. Bidding today ends at noon for the spring auction. Don't forget to check out all of the tasty treats. Winning bidders pick up your items Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Visitors, please join us for a short newcomer chat after service by the tree in the gallery. Today is the last day to submit board evaluations. We want to hear from you. You can submit online or pick up a paper copy in the office. Large print versions are available. And now, here is Kathy Disney, the chair of our Ministerial Search Committee.
I'm finally tall. Good morning. My name is Kathy Disney. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the chair of your Ministerial Search Committee. We are delighted and happy and very excited that this is the beginning of candidating week. For those of you who are visiting or new, we are on the cusp of choosing our new minister, and this week, from this Sunday to next Sunday, will be candidating week with lots of opportunities to have a chat with Reverend Karen in different kinds of settings. So a few things about that. There is a schedule of the different events that are going on. That schedule is on a table out front. It is also on the website, and it's also in the e-blast. You have to click a couple of things to get there, but you can get there and see that, as well as a sort of newly developed document called How We Got Here, which is a timeline from last July to now, with the different things that went on. And hopefully, if Jean is listening to this, she will have some printed for the table by the time we get out there. But it is also available on the website and the e-blast as well. So when you come to these things, and I will hope you will come to as many as you can possibly come to, come with curiosity. Lead with curiosity. And ask questions, because that is what this is all about. Last July, we began a journey of trust. The congregation put its trust in the search committee to do what you tasked us to do, and we have done that in spades. A new phrase that I've been kicking around in these meetings is we are building comfort and confidence. Comfort and confidence from both sides so that we can get to our vote next Sunday. So, about the vote next Sunday. Members will be who will be voting on the candidate. We encourage everybody, visitors, newcomers, people who aren't necessarily members, to come and stay for the whole circus, because it's a beautiful, joyous event. But if you're going to vote, then you do need to be a member to do that. Next Sunday, a special e-blast will go out at 9:30 Central Standard Time that will have the ballot on it. And you can vote electronically anytime, starting at 9:30, stopping at 11:30. We will have our beautiful, joyous service. Reverend Karen and her family and a couple members of the search committee will immediately leave the building. And then paper ballots, for those who want and need paper ballots who are here, will be distributed at that time, right after the service is over. If you are a person who is not in the building and isn't comfortable doing electronics, you can call the church office and Jean will take your vote, starting at 9:30 in the morning. So going back to what's happening in the building, at 11 o'clock the service is over, folks leave, people who need paper ballots will get paper ballots. Hopefully by then it'll be a time to vote electronically. If you haven't already done so, there'll be a QR code up here so that you can do it that way if you want. At and then we'll have coffee and the things that we have. At 11:30, we will ask, because hopefully by that time, all the votes will be tabulated one way or another. 11:30, 11:35, we'll ask everybody to come back in here. And the president of our board will announce what the vote is, the outcome of that vote. Then, as I said, it's a circus. Then we will make the call or the text or whatever it is we're going to do to those people who are away to come back with Reverend Karen and her family, and we will welcome them back. We don't sure how yet. We're working that out, but we will welcome them back in a good and positive way. It may involve singing, it may involve bubbles, we just don't know yet. But bubbles, probably bubbles. But we will welcome them back en masse, so please stay for that. We will welcome them back to the sanctuary here. The president of our congregation will make the call. We'll call the minister. We'll invite Reverend Karen to be our minister at that time. So that is what is going to go on next Sunday morning. Is we're going to have a beautiful service, do some voting if we haven't already done it, come back, hear the beautiful results, welcome the minister back, hoopla all around. If you have any questions, I and other members will be out at the table after the service. You can always get a hold of us or me the usual ways, but that is what's going to go on, and it is going to be so cool. So, hooray!
Thank you. So next week is going to be really different. I threw a whole lot of heavy theology at you because I like to start that way. We'll have more fun next week. So I've drawn heavily from the Christian tradition during our time together this morning, but of course, many other religious traditions lift up love as a saving grace. Sufism is the mystical branch of Islam, and our closing words come from Hafiz, a 14th century Sufi poet who used the words love and God interchangeably in his work. He wrote, even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what happens with a love like that. It lights up the whole sky. I invite us again to rise in body and or spirit and sing together, answering the call of love, number 1014 in the Teal Hymn.
The promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide, and so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our guide. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly bound, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we found. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. A bright new day is dawning, when love will not divide. Reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of
Our chalice extinguishing is by William Sinkford. Only begun. Spirit of life and love, dear God of all nations, there is so much work to do. We have only begun to imagine justice and mercy. Help us hold fast to our vision of what can be. May we see the hope in our history and find the courage and the voice to work for that constant rebirth of freedom and justice. That is our dream. Amen.
Thank you.